It's now time for the breakfast review, and on Tuesday, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Adam delivered the mid-year budget review to Parliament and to the full hearing of all Ghanaians. Key among the issues or his presentation was that road tolls will be brought back. Does it suppose that e-levy will be abolished? Because government was very emphatic. His predecessor, Ken Kuntunkuni Ofuriata, was very emphatic that government was going to generate the needed revenue to shore up the economy with the e-levy. Did government under-respect, and so its expectations were short-lived? My guest this morning, Bernard Mona, is flag bearer aspirant for the People's National Convention, the PNC. Professor Titus Bayos, NDC parliamentary candidate for Lambusie. And we've been joined by Dr. Ezekiel GHOne Obeng. He's a member of the NPP communications team. Well, he's taking his seat. So let me welcome the two gentlemen here. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to have you.
Good to have you, lady.
How are you doing?
In an economy like this, how will we do? Or how will I do?
What do you mean by an economy like this?
An economy where, but because we'll be going into the details, where it appears that government official assessment of reality is different from the reality that we experience, where we are told that we are growing, and yet poverty is on the high, where we are told we are doing well, and our currency is flip-flopping, where we are told we are doing well, yet unemployment is at a different level, where we are told we are doing well, and people have suffered haircuts, and where we are told we are doing well, food prices are in a different realm, transportation in a different realm. You go to health insurance, and then you see that reality is that your health insurance card will actually be taken. But as soon as the doctor diagnoses everything, you get to the pharmacy or dispensary and they tell you this medication is not there, this medication is not there. Then you have to take a prescription to go out, to go and buy. So invariably, your health insurance is a useless card that you are carrying because it's not able to support your health needs. Anytime the doctor will do the diagnosis, but the medications you have to go and procure.
Yeah, interestingly, we have two doctors here. That's an interesting one. Good morning, Doc. How are you? Good to have you.
Oh, he's coming eventually.
Well, he's here. you know, I mentioned this while we're off air, that when doctors appear late, it practically means that they are attending to their first love, which is patients.
So you want to say when farmers appear late, they are not attending to their first love.
But you know, health is wealth. And
you don't know that food is health. If you don't eat, the doctors can do everything, but once you don't eat, you cannot survive.
I agree.
So it's complementary. Every part of our sectors support the other. And the doctor cannot even go to work if they don't eat. Or after work, if they don't eat, they will collapse. They cannot even attend to the patients, and the patients themselves will also go off. So also appreciate we the farmers.
Very much
Chief Farmer, we appreciate you this morning.
Very much appreciate.
But let's go into the mid-year budget review. The finance minister was in Parliament, and I said this yesterday and Hajia Rabi apologized on his behalf that I was not disappointed. Yeah. Why? Because he was late. I was expecting the finance minister to be late, but I was not expecting him to surpass his predecessor.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he was awfully late.
Yeah.
But the budget review was delivered.
Okay.
Without because. But let's talk about a number of things. The road tolls that will be brought back. The finance minister says, well, road tolls will be brought back. Does it mean that e-levy will be abolished, as mentioned by Dr. Baumia? Doc.
I don't know. Okay.
Yes, I want to ask him. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning
to senior colleague Tabeyu and my shadow uncle.
Who is a chief farmer?
A chief farmer and an aspirant.
Yes.
He's promised me a place in his cabinet.
Okay, so. Okay. Yeah.
And good morning to our viewers.
He's a chief. And
Yeah.
he's abandoning that to become.
So he's a chief who is a chief farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeking to be president.
What many don't know is that President Mohammed is the chief of my community in Wa.
Okay.
And I'm surprised that he's not abandoning that dream to become president.
Anyway.
And I have just been reminded
Okay.
that Vice President Baumia is a chief in Damango. And so probably he should abdicate.
Anyway, Doc, let me hear you.
And a special good morning to the Vice President, our flag bearer, who is on his tour, Upper West region. And we ask for a special grace and God's protection for him. I'm sad to note that Mr. Mona went to the hospital and doctors gave him prescription only for him to go to the pharmacy. And he was told none of the medications were available in the pharmacy. So he needed to go and buy from outside. But I believe what he means is that at the present moment when he was at the pharmacy, not that the NHI does not cover those medications, but rather they were not available at the pharmacies. And there are a lot of roadside pharmacy shops that accept the NHI. So next time, please, when it happens like that, kindly move out. You'll get those that accept the card. The scheme is in a good shape. We left total subscribers as of 2009 when Dr. Bayo and the NDC took over. Total subscription of around 12.5 million people. By the time they were exiting, we were doing just a little above 11 million. It showed how the public confidence dwindled in the scheme. Today, we are proud to say that we are doing over 17.7 million subscribers. Indeed, if the scheme is collapsing, we wouldn't have that much outpour of confidence in the scheme. But of course, if there are areas that need to be improved, this use of co-payments where facilities will accept the card, bill the NHIS for payment, and yes, to ask patients to pay. All those things are issues that we all need to be part of protecting the scheme to bring these issues out for NHIS to also follow up on those areas. But of course, we need to speak to the good and the bad aspects of delivering, such that we can want to protect the scheme for the benefit of those that would require the services of the NHIS. Moving on to the budget, yes, as expected, was delivered, and I was quite surprised government did not ask for additional funding. But the finance minister...
Why are you surprised?
There's a lot government's already doing. There is resumption of road projects across the country. I used the Bosokai area yesterday, the Beche interchange, and they are still working. So I packed and I spoke to a few of the contractors, and I was assured that they would at least finish
There's only
by...
one contractor.
Those working on the road, yeah.
You mean
And I was
the
assured,
workers, not the contractors.
yeah, the supervisors, I mean.
Okay.
And I was assured that by September or ending of the month, they would complete the project. So I was expecting government to ask for additional funding.
More.
But of course, government says it's spending within its means. It's ensuring fiscal discipline within the budget. An estimated deficit of 2.7 by end of the first half of the year. Government is doing around 2.6. It shows the commitment of government to make sure that we are spending, but we are spending within targets and within our means. And one of the things that really got my attention was the SME goal. That's the government intends to dedicate 8.2 billion Ghana cedi to supporting small and medium-scale enterprises. If you look at the business environment, if you go to the Registrar General, over 80% of all businesses registered are small and medium-scale enterprises. And if you check our GDP contribution and our tax revenue contribution, the small and medium-scale enterprises do about 70% of all revenues collected. It shows that we need to give a special attention to the area of small and medium-scale enterprises because they are the largest contributor of revenue mobilization in the country. So I'm happy the government, the president, launched the SME goal, dedicating a whopping 8.2 billion Ghana cedi to supporting small and medium-scale enterprises across the country. And I always say that if you have at least 1 million Ghanaians who are well-to-do, well-established, and they are supported, by state's provisions, and they are even to employ one additional person. That's the reduction of unemployment rate to the tune of 1 million people. So it's a call in the right direction that government seeks to empower small and medium scale enterprises, boost production, expand their frontiers for them to be able to employ additional hands to curtail the issue of unemployment. And government also spoke about the debt restructuring they've had, with our external creditors and the Eurobond markets as well, and the opportunity it portends for our economy. The slashing of our debt to the tune of around $4.3 billion and some relief within the period of repayment and the Eurobond to the tune of about $4.7 billion. And with the bilateral creditors...
The other one is 4.4, not 4.3.
4.4, yeah. And the bilateral creditors, by the time we are done with the payments of the restructuring, the country will save up to around 2.8 billion. So it's, once again, tells how the government and the finance ministry was able to get Ghana a very good deal. But it also means that we, as a people, are not going to, once again, carry huge sums of money to go and service our debts as expected. It gives government a room to maneuver. So I'm not surprised those projects are already on course and they've restarted. So it helps government. It helps government to save, it helps government to plan. And we've had some form of depreciation, but of course the year-on-year depreciation as compared to before has curtailed. And the issue of inflation, we peaked around 54%. Today, we are talking around 22.8%. The government is on course of achieving the end-of-year target of 15%. So yes, the forward outlook of the economy is good. We understand government hasn't said the cedi is not depreciating, but we hope we would come to a levels where business communities will have much more room to do their businesses, especially those that require dollars to do their businesses. We are not saying food is not going up, but the rate of appreciation of goods and services has markedly reduced. And looking into the future, the revision of economic growth and what we are currently experiencing, then indeed government has turned the corner. We at least empathize with people who had to endure some difficulties within the period of 2022 into last year. And we still had some issues of power challenges. Today, it's resolved. Government has renegotiated the legacy debts, including the payment to the IPPs, to making sure that the Ghanaian people have stable electricity for businesses and social consumption. So putting everything together, I believe it spelled out the state of our economy, where we were at the peak of our problems, and what government has put in place vis-a-vis the post-COVID program for economic growth government entered with IMF, and what the future holds for the country. So it spells, once again, a good omen, and it gives confidence to the Ghanaian and the business community that indeed, looking at the statistics and where we are now, we are still charting the path of recovery. But of course, the future is always bright. If you stick to what government is doing right now, if we are committed to the policies that have been laid for us to, turn the corner, definitely, the Ghanaian economy would show some
Since
revive.
you talk about empathizing with Ghanaians, is government keen on cancelling the e-levy?
The flag bearer has mentioned it, that from 2025, when he's given opportunity, he's going to slash certain taxes, including the e-levy. And the e-levy was brought for a period, at a period where we're at the peak of our problem. So he believes that by the end of this year, it is possible to cancel those levies, including e-levy. So yes, the government is committed to it, and the flag bearer has said it times with that number, that indeed, from next year, when power is transferred to him, can't see the goodwill of Ghanaians. He's going to cancel it.
Okay, my other confusion is, you remember the then finance minister, Kenneth Riata, said road tolls were not generating enough. It was, for want of a better expression, a nuisance tax. Why then revert to road tolls?
It feeds into the narrative of the flag bearer again. He's promised that, given the opportunity, henceforth, our school infrastructure and our major road construction, we are not going to use lump sums of money, borrow monies to come and construct those roads. What he intends to do is to partner with the private sector, come and construct good roads for us. We're able to toll those roads. Then through that, you'll be able to collect the proceeds from the toll to offset your debt. So it feeds into the narrative of what we intend to do as a party moving forward from the next year. So I understand the question and the difficulty, but of course there's a laid down plan. It's not just coming in because we just want to put things out there, but there's a targeted intent and a well thought process and plan that government intends to execute when the power comes to His Excellency Dr. Bawumia from next year. And it feeds directly into the narrative of broadening the tax base. It feeds directly into the narrative of making sure we are looking elsewhere, our mineral sector, to making sure that we are harnessing as much as possible the potential we have logged in our soil. And when that happens and we're able to broaden the tax base, as he's spoken about, making sure that we are roping in the informal sector through the proper identification system and proper business registration system, roping the informal sector, give them incentives to be able to help their businesses and let them also pay some taxes. Then it gives government, once again, the room to see where we can halt some of the proceeds that we are getting today and where we can look at to making sure that we are even getting extra more than we are getting from these areas. So yes, I understand, but there is a proper plan that government has to making sure that once we are letting go of others, we are also doing what is needed to making sure that a lot more comes into our coffers.
I'll take a quick break, and when I come back, I'll take the thoughts of Professor and Chief shortly. Stay with me. Welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today, and we're still on the breakfast review. Since we have doctors in here, let me tell you the importance of donating blood to save lives. Now, Eris Properties, in collaboration with the Ghana Blood Bank, is inviting you to a blood donation exercise. The exercise will take place this Friday, July 26th, from 9 a.m. through till 4 p.m. Here are the 4th terrace of the Platinum Place building. If you're looking for the Platinum Place building, we're located adjacent to the SU Towers. Please come and donate blood to save a life. Remember, a pint of blood can save not just your life, but it could be that loved one. We're still talking about the mid-year budget review. We're doing a post-mortem of it. Dr. GHOne has explained a few things the government is doing, especially as we inch closer to the end of the year. You say, well, that's his explanation. Prof, let me come to you.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to my brother Bernard, and then to a colleague. And then good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the next president of the Republic of Ghana. And then Professor Jenano Pukwajuman, a vice president in waiting, one who is going to restore dignity to the office of the vice president that unfortunately has been denigrated with lies and deception. And a very good morning to the people of Lambuse who are watching us this morning and following this discussion. Listening to my friend and listening to the entire budget, I think it's the modus operandi of the ruling government and its communicators has never changed. It's unfortunate that things are that way. I mean, sometimes when I listen to him, when I just listened to him, I was wondering whether it's the same budget we all listen to and whether we are all in this country. First of all, my overall estimation or assessment of that budget is that, or the media review of the budget was that it's empty. It's at best another attempt at scamming the Ghanaian.
How so?
Now, so let me go a bit into the detail. I'll go into health, my area, a bit later. But if you look at a government that comes to project and say, oh, we are reducing expenditure, and then we are actually projecting that revenue will go up by 0.5%. That's lovely put, but the detail is what we should be looking at. So what measures is government taking to reduce expenditure? And you go into the budget and you realize that all that government has done is because of these negotiations on debt exchange. They are reducing payment of the debt and interest accrued on this debt. So when you postpone a payment to 2026, on your books this year, it will look nice that you have reduced expenditure this year. But in reality, you have pushed that payment to another year. So you present very lovely picture to us in terms of figures. But if you are anybody interested in interrogating the figures, you realize that it's just a scam. And I'm saying it's a scam basically because all that they are telling us is that because we have deferred this payment to 2026, this year we are reducing expenditure. If government was committed to reducing expenditure, I would have loved to hear things like, we are reducing the number of ministers, we are reducing first-class travels, we are reducing the number of...
But was it possible to reduce the number of ministers, looking at the number of months we have to the polls?
My dear, even when we had the opportunity and some ministers left, some were sacked in another way, what did government do? They just replaced them. Anybody committed to reducing government expenditure, would you have replaced with some few months to go? What is the point? We still have CEOs, deputy CEOs. How long ago was it when the STC staff protested when government wanted to appoint a second or a third deputy CEO? Is it a government committed to reducing expenditure? And so you notice that in their budget statement, when they talk about reduction in expenditure, they could not go into any austerity measures that they have put in themselves. They are still living large, very opulent display of wealth, state capture, acquiring everything that can be acquired. Yet, because they have deferred this payment, which they have no contingency plan, I was looking forward to seeing someone who is thoughtful of this country to tell us that, yes, truth is we are not paying this debt now. We are postponing the payment to 2026 and beyond. So as a result, we have created this fund. We are going to accumulate money so that when we get to that point, we will have something to pay. But what government is doing is passing the buck. And it's been done in several areas. So you talked about road toll. They said they are reintroducing road toll. Never mentioned anything on how they are going to do it, but they've passed the buck to 2025. Whoever inherits, because they are very clear in their mind that they are going to opposition. So we'll pass it on to you. Come and handle it. So we'll make the call ahead. We have informed Ghanaians that we are reintroducing road toll. Come and work out the modality on how to introduce road toll. Do you get it? Because you cancelled it. If you want to reintroduce it, introduce it now. What prevents you? Come out with the modalities and let's hear. But
that will be overburdening the ordinary Ghanaian.
Good. That's what I'm telling you. Because we are in an election year, because we know, you just asked the question right. If you are reintroducing road toll, then what happens to e-levy? Right? Because it was on the back of e-levy that he cancelled road toll and gave us all sort of whimsical explanations for what will be even done to the toll booths, including using them as restrooms and all of that. Something that you couldn't even comprehend. And so my point is, if really government wanted to do something about it, tell us what you want to do now. But they passed the buck. And when I say it's a scam, I'll give you another way in which it's a scam.
Okay.
When you look through this whole budget, you look at a place like the revenue. They say 0.5% increase in revenue. You ask yourself, where is that revenue coming from? Is it they have overtaxed everybody, and that tax is not yielding results because the container volume at Tema has reduced by almost 50%. Because the tax is so high, you import a small vehicle like a Matis, and the taxes you pay on it, Corolla, now people cannot even buy them because of these taxes. People have found smarter ways, so they won't even bring them in. The city is losing value, so people are not importing. Now, because of this overtaxing, they were wise not to see that this overtaxing that they have done, draconian taxes that they have put on people, has yielded this 0.5% increase. This 0.5% increase in revenue is come from a visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But they won't admit it. But if you look into it, it's coming from revenue from ESLA. When was ESLA introduced? ESLA was put in, the ESLA Act was introduced in 2015.
Yeah.
Right? His Excellency realized that we have legacy debt, challenges with the energy sector, and tried to consolidate all the levies in the energy sector and put in place a fund that was going to aid us handling this debt. When they came, what did they do? someone established ESLA. Instead of finding another innovative way of protecting it, they established an ESLA PLC, a company, call it a special purpose vehicle, and went onto the bond market and mortgaged all the revenues that was in ESLA and dissipated that money that you cannot even tell where it's gone. These are the details Ghanaians should be seeing. So when you see that, oh, we are living within our means, what is the living within your means? That you have borrowed, that you cannot pay. You have cut people's hair in this country. Pensioners were at the Ministry of Finance begging. I saw my lecturers on their knees begging that release their lifetime savings so they can buy medications. You sit on that. And because you have refused to pay that, and therefore your expenditure in terms of payment has gone down. You've told your international borrower, people you borrow from, that you cannot pay. They should forgive you. They forgive you some 4-point-something billion and say pay the rest from 2026. And they say this year, because you are not paying that, our expenditure has come down. We should clap for you for that. When you go into health, the budget was very silent on a lot of things. One of the greatest sins that this government has done to the health of Ghanaians, and I think it is time we educate people for them to see, is that realignment and capping act they introduced, which all of us who contribute to the NHIS, they decide to cap how much NHIS receive, send that money to a central pool and dissipate it anyhow they want. And then they introduce something that they have captured renal dialysis. My dear, I'm an epidemiologist.
Okay.
I have a PhD in clinical epidemiology. Now, when you look at the distribution of renal dialysis patients in this country, and you look at the catchment area that they have decided to offer this service for, anybody who interrogates the figures will see that they have scammed the entire nation. They say people under 18, go and look at our dialysis register. How many patients going to dialysis are under 18? If you can count up to 10, come back to me. Then they go to above 60. Go and check. How many patients undergoing dialysis are above 60 years? The bulk of people with renal failure
are in between.
They cleverly leave them out. And true to their character of sloganeering, come out to make a public noise. We have decided that NHIS is going to cover dialysis. And then put this caveat there. It's like putting a food down before your hungry children and then putting it at a place that is not accessible to them and tell them I provided food for them. That is wickedness. That is unconscionable. Because people who actually need this service are not the ones you are serving. And then you come out to make pomp and pageantry for people.
But they have a rebate. They've reduced it for them.
How much? Look, I did the calculations here. It's not a dialysis topic, so I'm not going to go into details here on how much it's costing per person. I am telling you today, if government decided that it was going to take its hands off the NHIS levy and make that money available to the NHI and ask NHI to cover dialysis, they can cover it completely without challenge.
Okay.
People are getting dialysis for free in Africa. People are getting dialysis for as low as almost $2 in some parts of Africa.
Yeah.
Why must it be this way here? And if you cannot do it, then don't pretend to do it and ask people to applaud you. And that is what is running through the entire budget or budget review. You do not see any concrete thing that we have reduced. He was mentioning all sorts of things. We brought down inflation. Interrogate the figures, and you realize that the key drivers of inflation in this country is the exchange rate and food inflation. It's just these two. The
Because
rest,
food inflation is actually higher than the national inflation.
exactly. So if you take us to 52-54%, and you bring it down to 20-something, and say we should clap
22.
for you, where was it when you took over? Where was inflation when you took over? So you worsen the situation, bring it back a bit, and then say we should applaud you. Bring it to where you took it from. When you were taking over, inflation was around 15. Where are we now? And you want us to applaud you? look, there are several things in this budget I don't want to talk much about, but the summary of it for me is that it's an attempt, just as they usually do, to paint the picture very nicely. But I think all of us are feeling the budget in our own pocket. Right. Every Ghanaian knows what you are feeling. If the dollar for you today is about 16 cedis, if the pound is over 20 cedis, if the euro is over 16 cedis, then you know what your budget is. If you go and buy something, you go back and the price has quadrupled. You know what your inflation is. So for me, I think government should come again. And I'm not surprised. And I think I would agree with you that the act of the finance minister, with all due respect, the honorable minister for MP for Karaga, was unacceptable to have kept everybody waiting to come that late, and also to come and present such an empty budget review without any specifics of what is being done, and not telling us the details of what is being done. Okay. But the take home for every Ghanaian here listening to me is that government is not living within its means, because they have not cut down any of their expenditure lines. They are rather increasing it in this election year. All that they have done is that they have deferred some payment that all of us will have to find a way of paying. And they have not put in place any plan on how we are going to pay when we get 2026.
Chief.
Let me greet my co-panelists, Dr. Ezekiel and Prof. Bayo. And to also say that I don't think that the Minister for Finance went to Parliament late. Otherwise, in the opening of the Speaker of Parliament and that of the leadership, they would have indicated their distaste and their abhorrence to his appearing before them late. What I do know is that the finance minister was virtually held hostage, and we were at the risk of not receiving the mid-year budget review, because government owes the District Assembly Common Fund, so much so that the MP's share of the District Assembly Common Fund has not also been released. After all, it is the District Assembly Common Fund, when released, that the MP's share will come. Most of these MPs, knowing what will come, have gone ahead to award and give contracts for certain projects in their constituencies to be executed. The contractors and those who have executed these jobs are daily on the throats of our MPs, as if they owe, and yet it is the government that has refused. And given that this is the last budget of the government, they decided that, particularly the minority side, that they will not attend upon the budget statement until and unless the full assurance in writing is given to them. And so my understanding is that the Minister for Finance was actually in the House.
Okay.
But leadership and the Speaker and the Minister for Finance and later people had to come from Flagstaff House to come and join, and eventually they had to put pen and paper together to give them the assurance that your monies will be paid within. And I think that this is the language our government understands. You see, we're expecting the minister to be in the Parliament at 10 a.m. And he was actually there before 10 a.m.
Okay.
But he had to come into the floor after 2 p.m. That should tell you how shambolic this regime is. And I felt petty and pity for the Minister of Finance. Because he's a hapless young man, given a responsibility to reshape and to clean the mess. And this is what I always say: a child will go and shit, and the mother or an elder will have to come.
Decorum, please. This is early morning TV.
What?
You can say a child can ease themselves. Yes.
Sometimes shit is not shit. I have to. What?
Chief.
What
Chief.
do I do?
to ease themselves.
Even this morning, all of us, if you are normally, would do.
Let's go back to the subject matter. Let's go back to the subject matter.
So Ken Oforiatta is like a child who has gone to shit, and Amin Anta is the one to come and wipe.
Okay.
That is what is happening.
Okay.
And so we put the economy in a terrible state, and unfortunately we go and bring Amin Anta, who is struggling to wipe the debt and the mess that has been created. In the end, probably we are going to finish the, what do we call it? The external debt restructuring we did. We are going to do it in 2035.
Yes.
In 2035, the debts that we have utilized, of which Ken Oforiatta has benefited so much, that across cantonments, all the way to Labone to East Legon, properties are springing up.
And you have concrete evidence they are his?
Don't struggle. Just go to Labone and walk, and people will tell you this property, that is for this person, this property, that is for this person. They know.
Okay.
Do you understand? You don't need to struggle. They know who owns what. They live in the community. They know who comes there at what hour. They will point out to you every property. This is our country. La. And so, you go, anytime we borrowed, Ken Oforiatta and his businesses and family, they became wealthy.
Yep.
Anytime Ghana borrowed, Ghana indebted itself, they became wealthy. So you have overborrowed that the economy has crashed. And today, we are, look, Ghana is worthless, that the international community doesn't see you as anything. So we now have to go begging that, look, we have reached a useless stage that we cannot pay debts. So please forgive us, reschedule our debts. Now they have agreed that in 2035, you can now begin to deal with it. 2035, where will Akufo-Addo be? In the unlikely event, or where it is possible for the NPP to be in opposition, right? In the unlikely event that Bawumia becomes president, in 2035, will he still be president? So you have shifted the burden of your recklessness to a period that you will not be around for who to come and settle for you. Is that what a responsible parent will do to their kids? That is what an irresponsible government would do to the nation. And this is precisely what has happened. So when you come and you are telling us that the expenditure is going to be cut, it is going to be cut because you have moved the payment forward. So you are not going to pay. So it will artificially and fictitiously be seen as debt or as expenditure cut. There's no expenditure cut. It's expenditure that you have shifted for future generation to come and be saddled with. That is irresponsibility. Second, and you ask the legitimate question, the electronic TV levy.
Which one is that?
The e-levy.
But why would you refer to it as TV
It's a TV levy. You don't understand TV levy. Nowhere in the world do you see that working capital is taxed. Working capital. That is the amount of money that you use for your daily transactions. Lily, you are aware that anytime you have to transact things from your hometown in Kosal, anytime you are sending the money to go and purchase, that money, which is part of your capital, is taxed.
Yeah.
What do you want? How do you want me to refer it? Not TV. That people's working capital is being stolen away from them can constitute nothing but thievery. So anytime somebody wants to do something, and these days you say we should not carry, what do we call it? Physical cash. So I want to transact business. This is the amount of money I have, 10,000. As soon as I'm transferring the money to Ezekiel and say, go to Abosu Okan and go and buy. When I am in Sankana, I transfer the money to him, I'll be taxed. When he is also going to do some withdrawals, he will be taxed. My working capital is going down. It means that anytime I have to add more in order to maintain the same capital. I don't refer it as transactions, it's thievery. So permit me if I say thievery. Now, you introduced this. We told you that it was not going to yield your intended purpose. You ignored the wise counsel. And you told us that that e-levy was like Akobam. You know Akobam? Akobam, whether it's your waist pain, it's your head pain, it is your stomach pain, it is your whatever, Akobam was the solution. When we wanted to talk about it, you said, in order that you fix our roads, we should bring e-levy. Education problem, e-levy. Health, e-levy. Agriculture, e-levy. Unemployment, you told her that e-levy was the panacea. Today, you are not ashamed. You are not ashamed. You should be ashamed that what you thought was going to be the solution to our problems had failed. Quickly withdraw it and save yourself from the embarrassment. You have declined. Now, you withdrew road tolls, saying that e-levy was the solution to all our road problems. When we wanted, and I have insisted, when I become president, or when the NPP lose, whoever become president, look, Amakwata will have to be prosecuted and he has to refund. Because if you listen to the Minister of Finance then, Ken Oforata, or Miss Finance, if you listen, he said, look, they are proposing that Parliament will take a look to abolish road tolls within a certain period. As soon as he made that statement, the next morning, in fact, that night, Amakwata issued a fiat and sacked the workers from the tolls and said the road tolls have been abolished. Under whose authority? Did Parliament approve? It was a proposal to Parliament. And you went ahead. So the period between the abolishment of the road tolls and till the time the Parliament approved it, those monies that were collected, we are told on average 78,000 Ghana cedis a day. The minister must be made to account for it and pay for it. That is causing financial loss to the state. So there are many candidates that will go to jail. Otherwise, they will refund the money to this nation. So this budget, aside the fact that, look, Anta, ever since he came, you say that, look, no matter how difficult it is, people are okay.
Yeah.
Because the man who was stealing from us has been removed. So it doesn't matter what Anta does. People don't want to talk so much and be agitated by the economy. But clearly, no work is being done. Finally, did I hear them say that there is growth? Which growth are they talking about? That GDP. And you know, Anta has been my senior, my mentor in school. He became NUC's president when we were also thinking of becoming leaders of students. And they inspired us. Haruna Idrisu, Adongo and co. But the same economics that were taught by Professor Mono and others is not what Anta is talking about. When you say gross domestic product is growing, it means the wealth of your nation is growing. How can you claim that your wealth is growing and you are going around borrowing and you actually owe? Prof, they don't owe you.
They owe everybody.
As we speak, the teachers, CTAG, they have been on strike for how long? They owe them. June. Yesterday, I was at the University of Ghana, Lehman Hall with Professor Jampu. They owe UTAC. Over 65,000 NAPCO, they created NAPCO. They created over 65,000 workers have not been paid. National Service Allowance is in arrears. And you claim that your wealth is increasing. Who owns that wealth? Let me repeat for your understanding. When you own nothing and wealth is increasing, don't claim that wealth. Take the telecom sector, and I keep insisting. The telecom sector, which one do you own? Yet, the 20 million active users of mobile phones in this country, on average, we spend 10 Ghana cedis a day. So times 20 million, that is 200 million a day. Times 365 days a year. When the telecos collect the money, what is Ghana's government share? What is Ghanaians' share of that money? They take it. They are in Canada. They are in Papua New Guinea. They are in Australia. They are playing golf. Enjoying the wealth that they have mobilized. And see, when they mobilize that amount of money, they will not carry that amount of money in cedis to Australia, to Canada. So the dollars that government of Ghana goes to struggle to bring, they will convert these monies into dollars and carry it out. This is, you know, if you did elementary economics, there is a book by Owusu Asante, Economics Without Tears. It's basic in that book. And so I expect Amin Anta to come and actually be lamenting that our economy is not owned by us. And so this growth that we are seeing is actually not reflecting. That is how come that you talk about GDP growth and that GDP is not accompanied by real development on the ground. And so therefore we should be looking at restructuring our economy to control it, to handle it, to be responsible for the growth that we are getting. If the mid-year budget does not reflect this, then I couldn't agree with Prof. Beyo that it is actually empty.
Okay. Do you have any rebuttals? Just a minute, and then we can move to our next topic here.
I don't think there's any country in the world, no matter your wealth, that you do not owe. America,
Libya didn't owe.
It's
Libya didn't owe. I just giving you one example.
Superpower like America owes. A superpower like Japan owes. A superpower like UK, they owe.
They owe who?
And no matter how wealthy you are, you still fall on others. Business, right, transaction-wise, import, export, it happens across. And the measure of the state of deterioration, in quote, are the figures we are quoting today. The reason why we had the impetus to say things were going bad in terms of pricing was the inflationary figures. We were confident to churn out those figures to say things were bad. If the same measure is being applied today to our economy to say things are getting better, inflation is coming down, don't go to inflation. Yet you use the same figures to discredit the government. For my senior brother, anytime the NDC speaks, I'm saying that they told Ghanaians not to bring Mr. Mohammed back. You are talking about inflation. Where did we take it from? If I ask you that simple question, you can't even defend Mr. Mohammed on this platform. He took inflation from when? And for the entire period of his stewardship, never did he chalk any improvement in any of the economic indicators.
Oh my God.
If it's a measure of how good or bad a government is, then Dr. Beyo or Prof. Beyo is telling the whole world that Mr. Mohammed should not come close to the presidency. Check your GDP growth. Check your imports minus exports, your deficit. Check your inflation. You took it from around 9 and you ended with 15. Not
Did
a
we
single year.
Did we ever get to 50?
Not a
50?
15. I'm saying that not a single year did you
And then
better
what business
any.
that someone who took us to
I am
that 50?
I'm saying that
coming back.
not a single moment in the entire presidency did Mr. Mohammed chalk a single progress in whatever he came to meet. I'm confident to say that prior to COVID, I did far better than all the indicators I came to meet. Yes, within COVID, during the peak of my problems, I got to a certain level. But today I'm bringing it down. I've halved it. I've done over 31% percentage decrease in where it peaked. With the 15 or the 17 you chalked, did you even reduce it by 0.1? It shows how incompetent you are. And you are speaking about dialysis patients. Government has taken steps to assist some people to offset their debt. And you have issues with it. When you were painting your faces on our buses, people were dying of kidney disease. When Mr. Mohammed was president, and he thought of using our monies to paint his faces on our buses, people were dying of kidney disease. You didn't think of them. So if it's a measure, then he doesn't come close to the presidency. When he was investing in a confirm, people were dying of kidney disease. We thank God we are both doctors. During the time I was in medical school, I believe, and he did a few tutorials for me at the Ops and Ghani department. At the time he was doing those tutorials for me, Mr. Mohammed was investing our monies, millions of cedis in our confirm. And when I leave the ONG ward, just across the street is the medical ward, and I was seeing the dialysis patient dying. Yet Mr. Mohammed thought it wise to invest in a confirm that we didn't see any. He thought it wise to use our money to plant trees that we didn't see any. He thought it wise to use our money to pay dubious judgment debt. Yet kidney disease patients were dying. Dr. Bayu, would you recommend such person for Ghanaians to vote for? To end with NHIS, your scorecard. I'm capping NHIS. It is there. Everyone is seeing it. But in the end, the public confidence is what I told you. That you took NHIS subscription. That's your scorecard. In 2009, you took it from 12.5 million active subscribers. By the time you were exiting, you were doing 11.03 million subscribers. It shows how poor you manage NHIS. Today, with the introduction of the novelty by Dr. Baumia, and even with the capping, with my relationship with service providers, I'm doing 17.7 million Ghanaians. How many NHIS? No, you couldn't even add a single soul to the 12.5 million you came to me. You rather depreciated and dissipated the numbers, dwindled and brought down the entire confidence in the NHIS. Even with my capping, today, I'm doing 17.7 million Ghanaians.
Okay.
So in effect, anytime the NDC speaks, and you are citing examples, I'm a doctor, dialysis and whatnot, yet you were investing our money, I confirm, NHIS, whatnot, you took an average of 12.5 million, you brought it down to 11 million, and I'm doing 17.7 million today. Would you recommend such presidency and such a president to the people of Ghana as against what you have today? If it's about figures, it's about how to help people, it's about commitment towards people, please tell Ghanaians that indeed this is the man you want to come back to come and rule us.
Okay, Prof. A minute also, but then we can move to the debate
all right, so,
proposed by the majority.
Yeah, just a brief is that I think it's following the same trend where they just mention figures to cover people's eyes so that the truth is not revealed. I would want to challenge him on set to tell me when, during the tenure of His Excellency GHOne Dramani Mahama, that the dialysis unit shut down to outpatient for a period of 4 good months because they were owing 4 million cedis. They should give me a duration. We're all on the Kolebu campus. They should give me a duration. This happened under this government, right? Yeah. It happened. And that's what led to a dialysis crisis. When you say we're dying of kidney failure, people have always been dying of kidney failure. It's a terminal illness, so some people will die, some people will survive. But dialysis was accessible.
How many did you support?
Dialysis was accessible.
One single
Did
patient.
we ever have a crisis like this where the center had to shut
You couldn't
down?
support a single soul.
Did we
That's
ever
the
have a
point.
crisis like this where
People were
the
still
center
dying.
have to shut down?
The young ones
Then
were
he
still
talked
dying.
about investing in confirm when people were dying.
Exactly.
Should we even compare? Look at what this government has done. You have somebody who came telling us he's an economic messiah, took the city from 4 point something to today. What is it? And this is the man who went to do a public lecture at the Central University, told the whole world he had all the wisdom on how to arrest the city.
Probably it's not
What
telling
has
Ghanaians
happened?
Mr. Mohammed will do better. Or
Wait,
did
wait,
better.
wait. This man who has lost all credibility is the one telling us that we should bring him back.
you should go to
He
credibility.
is. They came to us that they were taking away about 15 or so
Should we go to credibility?
news and taxes. When they finish, they take one with their right hand and
Are we
bring
going to
back
credibility
more
issues?
with their left hand.
No,
I'm
we have
coming.
to move to our next
We
topic.
can listen.
Wait.
Unfortunately, we have to move to our
No,
next
but I think let me just wrap
please
up.
allow him.
Let me just wrap up. They did that and brought back several taxes. Today, we are the only country in the world paying COVID levy, right? They had an opportunity to take away this tax. In this budget, they never did. You defer payment, and like Bernard said, and come and sit here and tell us because you have deferred payment and your expenditure has gone down, we should clap for you. And sometimes when they compare the data for His Excellency GHOne Dramani Mahamad's time to their present data, it's laughable. What was the population of Ghana when Mahama was in power? What is the population of Ghana today?
Okay.
And so if you give us nominal figures and make such statement, but in terms of economic indicators,
In
no,
that
the
small
truth
population,
is that
they couldn't
the
support
truth
a
is
single
that
dialysis patient.
the truth is that our economy was on its way to the ICU before even COVID. Everybody could predict. They were churning out lies, they were covering, they were reporting and under-reporting some figures, taking them out of the expenditure bucket and under-reporting. Our finance people complained and no one listened. When COVID hit, did COVID have what we call in medical terms skip lesions? Did they select some countries and leave some countries? In Ghana here, COVID came. Our neighboring countries, they had COVID. Is the impact the same there? Those who had a resilient economy, look at how they were able to withstand the shocks.
Okay.
But our economy just went down,
including Kenya,
and we owed everybody, and we cannot pay.
including Kenya.
This government has taken us more than
Dr. Bello
30
has
years
not been
back.
able to tell why
And
to
so,
vote for Mr. Mohammed.
Okay.
He is the trusted hand, and I've said that several
not-
times. I think he's not allowing me to speak, and that is not fair.
You are interjecting your
That is
lecture
not
when
fair.
he's teaching.
Because if you are talking about the reason why we should vote for Mr. Mohammed, I can tell you loads. He is the most trusted person we can have. You have somebody, when he says A, he does A. This is someone you put smeared with all sorts of rumors and scandals.
We did.
7 years after, not a single one has been proven. Tell him today they should show us one of the hotels that Mohammed has in
That
Dubai.
confirm is not proven.
They said all this
The
about
tree
Mr.
planting
Mohammed.
is not
And
proven.
now this man, who has done more tree planting than you? Where are the trees
tree
you have
planting.
done? What you've been doing?
I can show you
Where are they?
from
Okay,
Siashi.
gentlemen.
Just one example. I can show Dr. Bello from Siashi to Legon.
No.
All the trees you see in between the roads, the
across the
pavement,
stretch.
it's all part of the Green Ghana Day.
So-
show me
so-
one tree. One tree you built. One tree
You planted.
You planted.
Okay,
One tree.
okay.
I can show you
Okay,
forest.
gentlemen.
Forest.
Trees.
Forest.
I can show you
And
forest.
show me one I confirm that's alive today from your investment.
We'll have to move to our next
Including one dialysis patient they supported. With all
Okay.
that he said. One dialysis patient.
All right,
they
granted.
supported.
Let's move to our next topic shortly.
How is that possible?
Come again.
They have all taken a bite.
You didn't indicate that you wanted to take a rebuttal.
Must I?
Yes,
Or
he indicated.
because I've been quiet.
Yes, you have
So
been.
it means that you want me to be interjecting so that you know that.
No.
I need to
He
take
indicated that when I was done with Doc, he
But I
raised.
have. You saw that he took issues with me.
Okay, so
saying
please,
that
I have just a minute for you to rebut. Then we can move to our next topic. We are out of time.
certainly for his education, Libya under Gaddafi didn't owe anybody in the world. And so there was a country, or there are countries in the world that don't owe. And you know what Libya did in order to get to that state. That is a desert country, is considered a poor country. Their resources were simply being taken by the Europeans and the Americans and the Asians. And when he came, all he did was to do economic restructuring, giving control of the economy to the Libyan people. In the end, Libya was the most wealthiest country that supported African renaissance and ensured that today you can communicate within Africa without your call going through Paris or going through London. That alone is to tell you that, look, if you are determined to do it, you will do it. So don't tell me that there's no country in the world that doesn't owe. In any case, when you say that the United States of America owe, who do they owe? Have you ever seen that the United States of America has gone seeking bilateral debt forgiveness? Have you ever seen that the United Kingdom has gone to seek international external debt forgiveness? Have you ever seen that they have gone to the IMF or World Bank to go and seek international loans and support? So, I mean, they can have some owings, but it is not the kind of owings that you have that has totally dissipated your economy.
Okay.
The third important thing is this, and I feel very passionate about this. Let our parties know that the people of the North cannot be taken for a ride. Yeah. The Savannah Accelerated Development Authority was created to deal with the peculiar development poverty challenges that our people faced. Somehow, some people took advantage of it and mismanaged. There was a guinea fowl project, and at the end, when we wanted to account for the guinea fowls, those individuals that were responsible gave a report that the guinea fowls had migrated to Burkina Faso. That was an insult. The Savannah Accelerated Development Authority was realigned into the Northern Development Authority. And the Northern Development Authority started, particularly with inputs and other support for our local farmers. What we call aboboya, the tricycles, excavators, motorbikes, and what have you, got lost from the supervision of the deputies and then the CEO.
Okay.
The report is there. How much is one tricycle compared with
A guinea fowl.
with 500 guinea fowls.
And you sit here and
And we
noise.
sit
So it's
down.
okay for the guinea. So
Can I
sit here and
make
make
my
noise.
point?
Please,
No,
please,
let them allow me to
Can our doctors allow the chief?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
No, what an insult to tell me that government uses resources to go and buy lots of tricycles and other implements to support our farmers. Those things are missing. All we have done is to relieve the chief executive and his deputies. And we are here talking about guinea fowls. Yes, it is a sin for guinea fowls not to be found, but it cannot be anything of substance. In fact, if that one is a sin, this one is a devilish sin. Because you can compare the number of tricycles that got lost, and then you take the cost of one tricycle compared with how many guinea fowls you can buy. And we sit on sets, and we are here celebrating that some guinea fowls were lost. I am pained that the people of the North could go through something that was meant for our development. But don't tell us that guinea fowl getting missing is better than, is worse than, what we call it, tricycles and other farm equipment that are missing.
I've not compared the two.
Okay.
I cited
No,
a specific example.
Unfortunately, we are out of
that
time.
indeed Mr. Mohammed chose to invest in guinea fowls instead of dialysis
All
patients.
right, so let's move to our next topic. Yesterday, the majority leader, Alexander Kwamna challenged former President Mohammed to a debate. The minority says, well, Dr. Bawumia cannot compare himself to former President Mohammed because he is the chairman of the economic management team. So if he wants to debate on the economy, he should rather debate the likes of Adongo and Ampim Nyako and the rest. Let's hear from the majority leader, Alexander Kwamna.
You people too like controversy.
We do apologize. We'll play that video for you subsequently in other belts. But yesterday there was a lot of banter between the majority and the minority in Parliament on the proposed debate by the majority. Let me start with you, Chief, since you ended.
Honestly speaking, what does the debates in this country do? Probably the best it does is to reduce the tension, to allow for the various aspirants to be seen holding each other's hands, sending a signal that, yes, we are in competition, but we are in competition for the same goal. And therefore, citizens don't go up in arms, don't throw stones at each other, don't kill each other, don't insult, don't smear your relationship. I think that is the major symbolism of the debates that we have had in this country. And over the years, some have chosen at what point in time to participate in the debate and not to participate in the debate. And if you take a critical look, at some point in time, the PNC had issues with the organizers of the debate, that is the Institute of Economic Affairs. Because after the first round of debate in the 2012 elections, and our presidential candidate called for a shift in the date because he was unwell, they called the bluff for our presidential candidate and said that they have set the stage and they are doing preparations for a three-tie presidential debate. I had to come out to challenge the IEA that the decision to do the debate was not even by the presidential candidates, by the parties. And that our parties that were part of the platform in with the IEA, we decided that we were going to commit our presidential candidates. And so you don't go and say that you have taken the presidential candidate off without recourse to the political parties. And at the time, it was also Afriye, Aseedun Ketia, and Ivor Greenstreet and myself, who were general secretaries. And when the media decided to do a follow-up, all of us said that, look, if you want to have a problem, or if you have a problem with a presidential candidate, get back to the party. You don't just go ahead and do. And from that day, we chose that we will not allow a husband and a wife outfit to be doing presidential debates in this country. And so you will see that subsequent debates, were either organized by the NCCE or the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation or some state institution that we all can have a little confidence in. So this call by the Institute of Economic Affairs for a debate at this time is strange to me because we had discredited them because we thought that they were skewing the debate in a certain format. And we rejected them. So I don't remember the IEA doing the last presidential debate. So how come that all of a sudden they are the ones now trying to champion it when NCC is there, when the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the giant of our nation's media houses, is still around. So if they were the ones putting, and I know that GBC, for instance, has offered their rollout and what they have to do. So if they are putting it, we can go to the state. And then in any case, you don't just come and stand on the street and start talking about presidential or parliamentary debates. You go to talk to the parties and get the buy-in of the political parties before you can come and make public means out of it. It is not just about me sitting there and saying that I'm going to do a debate. When my political party say that, no, we don't want to commit to the debate, what do? I am a candidate sponsored by the political party. And so it is the leadership of the party that normally will commit their presidential candidate to it. And so when the party agree, then they come and talk to you. And even in some instances when the party has agreed, President Akufo-Addo said he will not debate. And because President Akufo-Addo said he will not debate, his vice president did not debate. In some other instances, President Rawlings declined the debate. And so, declining the debate, because we have not made it part of our constitutional processes, that presidential candidates must subject themselves to debate, I don't see the hula baloo around this topic. And it appears that it's all of a sudden, because I will recall that this call for a debate was done initially by GHOne Mahama. And I said, that was my response. I said, GHOne Mahama, this debate, don't think that it's going to be between you and your kid brother, Bawumia. In fact, another kid brother is coming. But whether the two of you can survive that debate. So you should be careful what you are calling for.
That's you.
Oh, yes. Because you should be careful what you are calling for, because in that debate, it's not going to be easy for you or easy for the it is possible man. So you have to be careful, because once I step foot as the presidential candidate of my party and the next president, and I come to that debate, you know that is going to be tough. Then all of a sudden, the vice president go to some places and probably is challenged by his record, because they are talking about the things that he has not done, what have you, and then he says that let's do a debate. Then all of a sudden, that has become the mantra of the majority leader. Yesterday, after his talk, saying that they should commit to their presidential candidate, the response he got, unfortunately, I didn't see whether he got another opportunity to rebut, but I could see his posture, that it was like he got an uppercut. They give you like this. And then the man just fell flat. So even if you show the video, you see that he was just sitting down like that. Lem. But that is what you call for. It's a debate. So they debated him first in the floor of parliament to let you know what you are going to get. That you are talking about the head of economic management team. No. He should come and debate the head of the ranking member or his deputy in parliament. And so the equal of your presidential candidate is the deputy ranking member of finance. And who is that? Adongo. Do you think that Bawumia would be able to debate Adongo?
Why not?
Adongo was me, 1 year ahead of me in Tamale Secondary School. And you see that boy, he's not like he's a bookworm. That is one thing I know. He's simply brainy. Because we used to play football, and he's a very good footballer. He does everything that you do, extracurricular activity. And from school, from Zamsi Secondary, he was the best in West Africa, ordinary level. At the sixth form level in West Africa, he was the best.
Does that make somebody best in economy?
Can I make the point? At the university, go and check. Look, on record, he chatted. And I'm saying that he's not like a bookworm, somebody who is just by the book. He's an outgoing person. So me, I have known him for a long time. And at one point in time, when my name was even being considered for appointment somewhere, I went to the appointing authority and said, look, this man, I know him as my senior, and I can tell you that he can do a better job. But of course, they underestimated him until now. When you listen to Adongo speak, then you know that he doesn't talk rhetoric. He talks what is around. And so I think that, look, I think that debates add very little to the fortunes or otherwise of presidential candidates.
Okay.
Dr. Ezekiel sitting here is decided. If we go for a debate and I even win the debate, you will not change to come and vote for me, even though I will give you an appointment in my government. Professor Beyo will not change. I was with him at the University of Cape Coast. He admits that I will be a better president, but he still will go and join the NDC to compete for them.
I never said.
Do you understand? So those things are well defined. So it is not the debate that I will win that will let any one of you come and say you are changing. So honestly speaking, we want to create hot air. Just the opportunity for us to hold hands. Then you see that no, the presidential candidate say, look, we are for peace, we are not for war, we are for one Ghana.
Puff.
Yeah, so I think the call is intriguing, and it's intriguing because, first of all, I heard the IEA call. In fact, before I would see the official communication from the IEA, I heard the vice president on one of the campaign platforms say, I'm challenging Mohammed to a debate and on the economy. And at the time he was making this call, His Excellency GHOne Mohammed had opened up to the media. He called the media, sat down with them, over 3 hours of grilling. The people got every information they wanted from him. You would never get that in any debate. Because in the debate, questions are very limited opportunity to talk and rebut. And especially if you don't even have a neutral platform, then the debate is even useless because it can be skewed in any way. But this was not any preformed questions. They didn't select any particular kind of media. You could see the collection of media. You are in the media yourself, and you realize that that was a very open session that he had with the media. There's no better debate than that. So somebody who was able to do that on his own volition, on his own initiative, should tell you that he's not scared of debates. But the question is, who are you debating? And when I heard also the call from the majority leader yesterday that it is the only way to give Ghanaians opportunity to assess the two candidates and make a choice from, I asked myself, really? Is that the only way? The two people seeking to govern this country, the two leading people seeking to govern. Yeah, my brother is part. But the leading people, and for me, the next president of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has governed this country before. People have an opportunity to assess his work before and what he says he will do again. The other person seeking from the Dr. Ezekiel's group, what has he been? He's currently the sitting vice president, one who was marketed to us as an economic whiskey, who himself drifted away and now says he's a digitalization specialist. We don't know now, he's now a mobile phone dealer. From all of that, this is the person who's also seeking to lead us. All right, people can compare. It's so easy, and if you really want an opportunity to interrogate their thinking, their thought process, I think what His Excellency did is the best. If Baumia really wants a debate, and if Afenyo Markins want a debate, then we will throw back what Baumia said to Mahama in 2016. He says that Mahama should go and debate the farmers, the traders, the drivers who are being harassed on the road, the people who, traders who are struggling with the cedi and the cedi to dollar exchange rate. He should go and debate those people. He should go and debate the ordinary people in the streets. I think if there is anybody that the people of Ghana want answers from today, it's Baumia. He should have filled himself to that kind of exercise like what Mahama did. Not some skewed something where somebody will give some predetermined questions, maybe even leak questions to some people, and come and sit there and talk to gain what kind of favor. Baumia has a credibility that is gone. Baumia is going down. He's looking for an opportunity to equal himself. And like with somebody with an impeccable pedigree, which is His Excellency GHOne Dramani Mahama. And like one of our seniors said in Parliament, I don't think Mahama will be doing Bawumia a very huge favor if he allows himself to debate with him. I don't know the official position of our party yet on this. We've had some individual communications coming. But it would be a big favor to do Bawumia a debate. Because I don't think Bawumia is worth a debate with Mahama.
Okay.
I'm coming. Let me just wrap up. Because, one, this man is not credible. And if you are debating someone who doesn't play by the ethics of the game, my dear, it's like going to a boxing ring. And when you know that you will follow the ethics of the game, they say don't give a blow below the belt. You won't do it. Don't use your foot. You will not do that. But the other person doesn't mind and can use it. If you are going to such a battle with such a person, it's a very dangerous battle. This is someone who doesn't have any regard for ethics, doesn't have any regard for truth, can say this today and tomorrow say no. He says he has jailed this dollar. Is out, don't know when he broke jail, and he doesn't say anything about it. He gave us several solutions. You are telling that you are coming to reduce the number of ministers. You are in government, you have an opportunity to reduce the minister. When Mahama mentioned that he's bringing the minister down to 60, you quickly mentioned that you do it to 50. You still have 1 whole year. Nothing has happened about it. We talk about tax. You said when you come, you bring a flat rate at the port. You do this, you do this. You had a mid-year budget, opportunity to do that. You are still head of the economic management. Campaign events cast their shadows. At least do something for us to see. So on the basis of all of this, I would say that Bawumia should do like His Excellency has done, open himself up. But I do not know what the final position of our party is, but it will be a big favor to debate someone like Bawumia and to debate someone who has no credibility, who can lie. I don't think it's a very safe thing.
Doc.
Anytime Prof talks about credibility, I wonder if we are in the same country. Are we talking about an individual who said he will not commit 2 billion Ghana cedi into free SHS, and later, during his monologue, tell us he's the originator of free SHS? Are we talking about Mr. Mahama, who claimed the NDC started NHIS from Nkranza and Damongo when it wasn't true? Are we talking about the man who said he would cancel nursing training allowance and later made a U-turn to say I'll continue? Are we talking about the party led by Mr. Mahama, who sponsored over 40 adverts against free SHS and turned around to own it? The skewness in any of the engagement is what happened when the media met Mr. Mahama. That he had the confidence to tell everyone gathered that he started free SHS. He had the confidence to tell everyone gathered that NHIS was the brainchild of the NDC. And you could see on the faces of the journalists present. You could tell. The videos are there. Samson Ladi, Ayinene, and then the rest. You could tell from their faces. Indeed, it is very obvious that the NDC is running away from the debate. And I maintain that Dr. Bawumia is very charitable. You believe things are sports. That's not what they tell us. You say everything is on a downward hill. That's what you keep telling us. The man is saying that I'm availing myself. Come and put it to me in front of everyone. Come and challenge me. Don't go and hide somewhere, do a monologue, and lie to Ghanaians that you introduced NHIS. Is that the integrity? Lie to Ghanaians that you own free SHS. Is that the integrity? Lie to Ghanaians that you own UGMC. Is that the integrity? Lie to Ghanaians that you own the Rich Hospital. Is that the integrity? The integrity is the Ford that was given to him. The integrity is the Airbus issues around him. The integrity is the Majaro issue that's in the UK House of Commons. Dr. Bawumia is very charitable. He's asking you to come. You claim things are sports, so come and put it to me. He's giving you a very unique opportunity to come and put it in my face. Whatever you believe, whatever you took, and where you sent the country under you, come and tell me how you believe you've done better. Don't hide behind the cloth inside your house and be shouting, oh yeah, Bema Brianko. And when I tell you, come out and let's fight, you tell me I should rather go and fight those who are saying, no, please don't fight. And if you look at the communique by the minority, they are telling Mr. Mahama to go and debate. The spokesperson came out that she is not going to be part of any IEA debate. IEA came out to say, no, I've not invited anyone. I only came out to express the view that I'm considering organizing a debate. I've not approached any party. I've not approached any candidate until I'm ready to approach the parties and the candidates. But the NDC went ahead of themselves and released a communique. And yet your minority is saying that we are not against debate. In fact, they've seen Dr. Bawumia to be so brainy, so intelligent, that of all the accolades Mr. Mona has listed about Honorable Adongo, they still believe he's not enough. They needed extra 6 potential human beings to be added to all the accolades and the brains of Mr. Adongo, as Honorable Mona has made that understood. To debate one person. 7 strong men to debate one person. It shows how much the NDC reveres Dr. Bawumia. That they can't even find a single soul in the party to say we are going boot for boot against Dr. Bawumia. And you know what? My former communications director, Honorable Yababian Samoa, said something very remarkable prior to the 2020 elections. That the main Achilles heel of the NDC is that they can't look within the party, the rank and file, from the biggest person to the least person in the party, and get a single person that can match Dr. Bawumia. And it's evident today that they believe Mr. Mohammed alone is not enough. Reason why they are shielding him. They believe the vice president is even not enough, because Dr. Bawumia is on record as vice president in 2020 to have demanded a debate with Mr. Mahama. Obosukwachi, Felix, told him that he's not a president. He should seek the mandate of his party before demanding for a debate with Mr. Mahama. It clearly shows that even with the running mate level, Dr. Bawumia was willing to debate the flag bearer.
Okay.
So Mr. Mahama is not enough in the NDC. Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, after all the professorship, it's not enough. The two of them put together, it's not enough. And after all the accolades and the academic credentials and the economic credentials Mr. Mona has listed about Mr. Adongo, he is still not enough. They needed extra 6 strong men to be added to Mr. Adongo to debate a single person. Okay. What does it tell you? First of all, the NDC is not against the debate in principle, because their parliament or parliamentarians believe that Dr. Bawumia should be debated, except they can't bring their flag bearer because they know he can't debate Dr. Bawumia. Okay. So all the hula baloo going around, all the commentaries going around, from the communique by Madam Jodbawa Motari and everything going around, including what Dr. Prof. Bayo has said on this platform, points to a single fact. Mr. Mahama will not debate Dr. Bawumia. He's so scared of Dr. Bawumia. He can't stand on a platform any day, any time to debate Dr. Bawumia. It's the reason why they are rather punching the IE to be skewed. But on the same platform that had Mr. Adodanko Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, then the candidate, and His Excellency John Mahama as president then, was Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman as part of the moderators. Okay. Was she leaking questions to Mr. Mahama then? So clearly, it is what we say in Akan.
Why are you
selecting? It is what we say in Akan. So it is what we say. It is what we say in Akan.
Okay,
that
gentlemen.
let me finish, please. That
well, I am giving you enough time.
He
had the opportunity to come and explain to Ghanaians why you believe Nkokobu and Kete is better than the tax reforms. Okay. Come and explain to Ghanaians why you believe remarking working papers is better than the Rural Development Fund. He has every opportunity.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
But he's scared.
Unfortunately, we're out of time.
And the NDC doesn't have anyone credible to Bawumia. They rather believe they need the brace of 7 strong parliamentarians to debate a single person.
He has just made a few things that
are very, very happy.
On the weather, Mohammed
by the
never
call
said
of
that
7 individuals to debate a single person.
It is on record that Akufo-Addo commended Mahama for starting the progressively free SHS.
Okay.
And we have evidence of that payment in the budget, and it's there. All right? The NHIS Act, when was it passed? If he's not informed, he should go and check. 2012. Who was the president of Ghana in 2012? And when we started, we started, when we started the mutual insurance schemes, that was not yet national. You came, made it national. And you said that there. But look,
okay, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Ezekiel Ejekumo-Bing is a member for the NPP Communications team. Professor Titus Bayu is the NDC parliamentary candidate for Lambusi, and Bernard Mona is flag bearer aspirant for the PNC. Well, The three parties have told you how they are going to save the nation. Let me tell you how you can save a life. Now, Aris Properties, in collaboration with the Ghana Blood Bank, is inviting you to blood donation exercise. The exercise will take place on Friday, July 26, 2024, from 9 a.m. through till 4 p.m. Venue is here at the Platinum Place. It's on the 4th Terrace. Please come and donate a pint of blood to save a life. It could save your life or somebody that you love. We are back after this break. Stay tuned in.